All right, this week on the show, Taylor Swift is able to buy back her masters. Now, is it a grand plan or a grand ripoff? We're going to hear from the ultimate hater, and we want to get your reaction to that. Plus, bringing things on the first date. Is it a yay or a nay? We're talking about it.
No, hang on. Just did my hair, sorry. Just got to make sure it's good.
You getting this?
I don't want to make sure.
Unbelievable.
I want to make sure I'm pretty for you.
Philippe just did my hair, and I just want to make sure I'm good.
We love Philippe.
I know it. Philippe's one of my best friends. Yeah. You know, everybody's got buddies, right? Everybody's got it. But it's really key to have one of your buddies be the best hairstylist in the city.
Yeah.
This is a guy who was at both of my weddings. And
I partied with him at your first one.
Jax's hair. Yeah, that's when you were partying.
Yeah. It was a late night with Philippe.
So you got a fresh haircut for June 1st, did you?
June 1st, I thought I want to be gay and fresh.
So listen, in June, we don't say, because it's Pride Month, right?
Yes.
And happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride Month, everyone.
Congratulations on being gay. I'm getting a whole month. No, I'm kidding.
But you know what? I will say that you celebrate me every month of the year.
Well, listen, this is what we have to say this month. So instead of, when you don't understand something and you're recapping a conversation, you don't say, let me get this straight. You say, you ready for this? Just so we're queer.
Hey, that's really catchy. Ooh.
You like that?
Where'd you pick that? Did you make that up?
That's a total TikTok that I ripped off.
I was going to say,
it's way too creative for me.
That?
Are you kidding me?
I love it. Oh my God.
Great?
Well, happy Pride, my honey.
Well, it's great. You know, it's a good time to be alive. June is always great. It's been really cold weather where we are. Everywhere else in the country is getting warm, hot weather. We're finally, I think, getting some of it this week. And Jax, you got a big month because you're going to be gay on another continent.
That is true. I'm going to London this week. Yeah, I'm going to London actually in a few hours. And I'm going to bring my gay haircut there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do they have a gay scene there? Are there gays in London?
Stop it. London has an incredible queer community.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm going dancing.
Good for you.
Yeah.
You're going by yourself too. So I want to start this a little bit with vacations by yourself, because obviously that's not a thing that I do anymore. But when you are single and you have no kids, vacations on your own are, for some people, terrifying and they hate them. Other people, they absolutely love them. And I can remember loving it.
You were a good solo traveler. I remember. I think
I'm an only child, right?
Your last solo trip would probably have been when you went on that sexy beach vacation.
I went to Barbados.
Yeah,
that's
it was
right.
Beautiful. You just
post-divorce
moseyed around. You looked like you were in the White Lotus.
It was great. I got chased by a couple roosters because for whatever reason, roosters in the Caribbean are nuts.
They're pushy.
They're crazy.
Pushy.
He followed me down the street. I was just going for a walk and he just followed me the whole way.
Surprised you made it out.
Well, because they are actually they can hurt you. They've got little raptor claws or something like that.
Have you ever seen them?
No, I never have.
I don't know why I have. I haven't seen one up close, but I've seen pictures of them. They look like little red, curved knives. They're terrifying. They would get you. You would come out
worse
with
for
some
wear.
wounds.
The chicken would be fine. Yeah. Or the rooster would be fine. I'd be in trouble.
They'd cut you deep.
And I'm like, I remember at a certain point turning around and because I was by myself, so I hadn't talked to many people that day. And I said, who are you defending? Where are the hens at? Go hang out with the hens. What are you doing with me?
What is this fight for?
Yes. Yeah. What is this fight for? What are we fighting for? So that's great. So London, England. Okay, so you're going to be there for how long? A week?
I'm going to be in London for a week. And we're going to be
recording this podcast while you're there. So that's cool.
Yes. Yeah. We'll be, I fly out to, we record the podcast and then I fly from London to Ireland next week. So I'll be in London for a week and then I'm going to be in Ireland for a few days, catching up with some friends. I'm going to fly back from Dublin.
Oh, that's great.
Back to Toronto. Back to you. Your little rooster will come home.
That's right.
Yeah. That's right. No knives on this one though.
Well, I think we're going to have a fun one because I think that'll be our first sort of remote recording and that's always a great time.
Hopefully it goes well. We'll see.
You got your phone on you, right?
Yeah.
So I want to talk a little bit to really start today about Taylor Swift getting her masters back. And this is a really big deal. We'll get into the story of how this all happened. But essentially, when you're an artist, master recordings are a major thing because music publishing, how the songs are sold and who they're sold to. And do you license to this company for a TV commercial for Ozempic? Do you license to, this movie for a huge blockbuster? All of that stuff, the record companies in the past made a ton of money off of. It wasn't just selling the single directly to the audience. It was all the stuff afterwards in perpetuity.
Yeah.
And some artists throughout the eras have been able to get rich enough to get their masters back.
Yeah.
And Taylor very famously, I think most famously of all, had hers sort of sold out from under her to Scooter Braun, who then resold the rights, I think 6 or 7 months later.
And that's why she started re-recording all of her albums.
Yeah, and Scooter Braun used to represent like Kanye West and stuff like that, which is hilarious in retrospect because, but, you know, Kanye and Taylor obviously had a bad relationship. Justin Bieber and Taylor obviously had a bad relationship. Scooter and Taylor had a bad relationship because of it. Now, he's tried to take the quote unquote high road, but I want to get into that in a second.
Okay.
What I'm going to write, this is a TikTok by DJ Hungry Human, who I think you'll really like. She breaks down a lot of entertainment stories.
Yes. Yeah.
And she's got a theory about the Taylor Swift Masters and maybe that we've all been duped. Here we go.
Okay.
Very surprised that there are not more people talking about the fact that Taylor Swift just scammed the shit out of you guys with all of this Masters business. Like, let's think through this. She was with Big Machine. She had the opportunity to buy her Masters. She didn't like the deal that they were going to give her, so she passed on them. Scooter Braun, arch nemesis number 35, comes in. He buys Big Machine Records. He buys her Masters. He tries to give her a deal to buy back her Masters, but it includes an NDA. And Lord knows this girl can't shut the fuck up. She needs to be able to talk shit about everybody and their mothers, so she doesn't take the deal. Let me just, as an aside, if you guys went on GoFundMe and you raised $2 million for me to shut the fuck up, I would. I love talking shit, but I love money more. So just keep that in mind. It was really, she just couldn't agree to not talk shit, so she passed on the Masters again. Then she makes this huge deal about re-recording all this stuff. She does it at a lower quality. And she says, you guys cannot listen to the originals because I've been victimized by Scooter Braun. You girl power, you have to listen to Taylor's version, which is like a lesser version of all of these albums. And you guys eat it up, right? You're like, Taylor's version, yeah, girl power. Then it comes time for her to re-record Reputation, which, of course, you guys are looking for all these Easter eggs. She's speaking to us. No, she wasn't, because she was so busy devaluing the Masters and then buying them back that she was never going to re-record Rep. She didn't have to. She made so much money off of those absurdly ridiculous ticket prices on that tour that that's like chump change to her to go buy the Masters back. By the way, Scooter Braun still made $100 million off of those Masters, right? So is this really some huge girl power victory? I don't know. That's up to you to decide. But anyways, it worked out perfectly for her because you guys bought multiple albums. You bought 2 of the same exact album, probably more than 2 versions of the same exact album. Honestly, the most offensive part to me was that she released that letter that was like 18 paragraphs too long.
Okay, so I wanted to present an ultimate haters version first, because we've got Taylor's version, we've got haters version, and we are gonna. Stephanie is steaming over there in the corner. Yeah. She's so mad. I wanna sift through this because that was the ultimate hater version, and I'm sure you've been bombarded with the Taylor version. And I know Steph is like. Producer Steph is like ready to lunge.
Yeah, mega fan
Steam
over
is
here.
coming out of her ears and her eyes.
I'm really upset that we even gave that airtime. To be fair,
right?
Yeah, you are. You're loyal. You're too loyal sometimes.
No,
to Taylor
I am
Swift.
loyal.
Where did you fly to see her?
I went to go see her in Portugal.
Just casual.
Just
skip in and jump over to Lisbon.
I'll pop over to Lisbon and get that done. So Scooter Braun has released a statement because this was like a big story. And he said it's 5 letters long or 5 words long. I am happy for her. That's what he said.
Okay.
Now, remember that this, as she kind of broke down in that video, Braun bought these in 2019. He resold them to a company called Shamrock Capital for $300 million. Basically, contrary to the previous false report, there was no outside party who encouraged this sale because Scooter Braun tried to put in there that he encouraged Shamrock Capital to sell them back to Taylor. Because he's a good guy, that Scooter. Real good guy. Listen, I anybody in the music industry who says they're a good person, I'm like,
I don't think Scooter's a good person. I think that he's a very aggressive businessman. I don't think he's a good person. I don't think he's a bad person, but I don't think he's a good person.
The source told People magazine, Taylor now owns all of her music, and this moment finally happened in spite of Scooter Braun, not because of him. Now, there were some thoughts that Taylor Swift's music might have been worth upwards of $600 million to $1 billion at this point.
Yeah.
And I can see that, although The Guardian is sort of reporting that might be too high. I don't see how it isn't. But what I do feel like she hit on in that video, and then I want to get your thoughts on this, is Taylor did re-record all of her songs and got a bunch of music. And even I was on that. Like my daughter like loves Taylor Swift. I would always play Taylor's version.
Yeah.
I want to make sure the money went to the right place.
On Virgin Radio when we were doing mornings, we were like celebrating the songs as they were released, getting all the album news. Like it was humongous news.
And I wonder if the albums being re-recorded, not only did they devalue the masters in a way, although I have to be honest with you, there are, especially if you're a Taylor Swift fan, I think you are glued to the originals, right? The originals are the ones that hit you, and there are little details in that aren't replicated in the new ones, right?
Yeah, the originals, you listened to them at a time in your life that you can't really replace listening at that time.
Yeah.
But it also was nice to like hear the Taylor's version with her matured voice because she was so young.
Yeah.
When she recorded a bunch of those. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so the only two albums that haven't been redone are Reputation and her very first album when she was like a kid. And so I'm wondering, it seems like the Eras Tour and these re-records paid for this. Like it seems like she's not out of pocket a dime because she made so much money on that Eras Tour. She basically created like this incredible, instead of going out and getting like an outside investor or something like that, she was her own outside investor, put a big tour on stage and was kissing her boyfriend at Super Bowl and all that stuff. And now has bought her own masters back. And I feel like, I don't know, you feel, what?
I just want to know if now that the score is even, the bank account, like everything has been balanced, and she notoriously, the
bank account's been balanced.
Well, it has, but like celebrated her staff really well, like on the Eras Tour. Like she gave everybody a lot of money.
Them like thousands of dollars bonuses.
But now that it is all fair and square, will the fans get a cheaper tour next time?
No, nobody gets a cheap tour. That's a Ticketmaster thing, though,
right? And that's fair. But I don't think that Taylor's lying. I don't think that Scooter's lying. I think it's somewhere in between. I think that maybe there was ability to buy the masters back originally, or like, have some sort of softer resolution. But I think there was a fantastic public story that she could tell and paint a picture of her having, she said like the villain, right? And like the heroic arc, and like, I'm going to re-record these masters and be celebrated. And Jesus, it worked. We all ate it up. And like, I can't even blame her for that. I can't blame her for that.
Can you say
that's true?
Well, because there's a lot of people out there who are like, well, she had this plan from the beginning. I'm like, I don't think I don't
think anybody can be that methodical.
No.
I don't think anybody
could have, I mean, you think about 6 years ago, the Eras Tour 6 years ago would have been like, sure, she could go on big tours, but the Eras Tour became like a pop culture phenomenon. It saved the United States, they say, from recession because every city it went into was such an economic boom.
It helped our economy in Toronto, Canada, like massively.
Huge.
I don't think that it was methodically planned out. I don't think she's a mastermind in that capacity. But do I think that she pivoted each time? Like, I think she capitalized on how things were going as it was happening. I don't think she had it all blue. I think that will be like a level of evil. And I don't think Taylor Swift.
That's sort of Machiavellian.
I don't think Taylor Swift is evil. So I think that she's incredibly brilliant, sometimes like frustratingly so when it comes to business, and has people around her that can make decisions, again, to pivot that benefit her. But I don't think she's evil. I'm very frustrated with how much money fans are like losing to see her live, but they're also paying it, right?
Well, that's the thing. Now, Steph, would you consider that, because it was not cheap to see Taylor Swift. Would you consider that money, like, were you resentful at all in spending it?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, see?
Okay. But here's my question. And I can't quote the exact place or the numbers, but didn't Lady Gaga a couple of weeks ago do like a massive, like 2 million people in Brazil or something?
She did, yeah.
It was free.
On a beach, yeah.
It was free, correct?
Was it a festival?
Yeah, it's some sort of festival.
So it was free?
Mm-hmm.
Where's Taylor's free show?
I don't think Taylor operates like that. And I
Why?
She doesn't need a free show.
She doesn't need a free show.
I don't need to go to see a free show of Taylor with 2 million people.
But I think that maybe down the line, that could be a way to be like,
here's a free. I think she's always operated.
She gave us a 3-hour show.
Yeah.
No. And I'm not saying that what she gave you before that you paid for is not bad, but I'm just saying, at what point does she have enough money?
I don't think that's up to anybody.
For somebody to say that, like that her fans, because they are and I'm just speaking hypothetically, that her fans are number one. Her fans are ride or die. Your example, like you went to Antarctica to see her last time. But I wonder when the switch happens where an artist is like, we re-recorded these masters together. You wrote for me, like the Scooter Braun situation, etc. I love you. You have loved me. Let's come together, not at $700 a ticket.
I think,
and I know
I think a free show does nothing to assuage that. Because, okay, so she goes and she does this free show and then she goes back on tour and the tickets are $700 again. I don't know what that does.
I want to know, I guess maybe what her thank you to fans is.
I think her thank you to fans is the effort she puts into them.
That's the thing.
The one thing I'll say is that she's
fantastic live.
She does sort of not just the live stuff, but there's like, you know, she's created what essentially amounts to like a Star Wars universe, but centered around her music.
You're losing me. Don't bring Star Wars into it.
She's bringing or like, you know, any like Marvel. Like she has like, well, I've got these Easter eggs and this number corresponds with this. And if you know my birthday, then you know this. And it's like, there are things that are very much in that Taylor orbit that I've never seen another artist do.
No, she's
and I think that's
in
where
a league of her own.
There is it's almost, Steph, forgive me if I'm wrong, it's almost a part of a lifestyle, is it not?
Yeah, it is. Like if I meet another Swiftie, instantly we're like great friends.
See, it's a community.
It's so easy to talk to them. We just bond over Taylor Swift. It's not a cult.
So
if it's a cult, it's a pretty benign cult.
When I run into another follower of Christ, like we're immediately friends, you know? We're just
it's like Jeep owners. Jeep owners are like, yeah, you get it too.
I've been trying to do the Bronco wave with people. They won't do it.
There is no Bronco wave. There's no culture there.
I've been trying to do one and they don't do it. But yeah, okay. I get it. I love Taylor. Don't come for me, Swifties. I'm just asking hypothetical questions on how you meet in the middle of your community.
She's always operated as a hyper-capitalist, but that...
How do you feel about that?
She's a great businesswoman.
Yeah.
And she loves what she does. Music is her life and she has to make money from it. So like, do what you got to do.
One thing I will say is what I think that TikToker got wrong. She's like, well, Scooter Braun made $100 million on this, so this isn't like a win for girl power. I actually think it is. You know, she ultimately... Even though, yes, he made money off of the recordings and, you know, there are disputing reports as to what happened because what Taylor was actually offered by Big Machine, which was her record label at the time, was an opportunity to earn her masters by continuing to create more music over time.
That's like so fucked up. Excuse my language, but like, yeah, if you're a good girl, you can get these things back.
If you sell these things, then that'll count towards your credit too.
Horrible. Yeah,
that's how they were operating. Yeah. So she said, as you said, no, I'm not doing that. And they said, okay, cool. And Scott Borchetta, who was one of the guys that, you know, ran Big Machine and Scooter Braun obviously knew each other. And Scott sold them to Scooter instead because Scooter can't earn them. Scooter's going to pay for them. And they were trying to keep Taylor at that record label, right?
And Scott knew that her and Scooter already had like beef, basically.
Yes, 100%.
I love it. 2025 is selling women's work, you know?
Yeah,
there you go. Ownership on women's work.
You're allowed to buy and sell women's work and she bought and she sold it. Or she hasn't sold it yet. She has, I think, done an amazing job here because now, I mean, the Taylor's version of anything, I know it'll just remain out there, but now the guilt's gone. Now people can just listen to whatever they want. And so she's going to make, hey, I like Taylor's version of that song from that album, but I like the original version from that same album in the OG. She's going to make money from both. She's doubled her output.
So, okay.
With the same songs.
Let me ask this question. Does she work with a lot of younger artists?
Yeah, she does.
Yeah. So I feel like maybe that will be her next saga or like, you know, like giving back in that way, I guess. Well, I just like want to see.
Well, she has. Yeah. She always brings up like an up and coming artist or somebody that she like really likes.
Yeah. She had Olivia Rodrigo open for her for a while. Did she?
No. They don't like each other. It's Sabrina Carpenter.
Yeah. Sabrina Carpenter.
Yeah. Vampire apparently is a song about Taylor. Because of the
rumors.
I'm not going to the Marvel universe with you on this.
Okay, so here's I'll give you this. This is what she bought. Okay, and this is the effect she's having because I think it's important. There are two kinds of rights: the rights to the master recordings of an artist's work, and the songwriting rights known as publishing. So she obviously got both. Senior music publishing executives say their part of the business was ahead of the curve, explaining that publishing deals tend to work on exclusive licensing terms or retention period. So publishers pivoted to rights ownership business to the service of rights. So basically, they're making money off of serving those.
Okay.
And sometimes, 25 years ago, it'd be 20, you'd get 25 years of that. Now it's down to 12 to 15. But if you look at Olivia Rodrigo, made ownership of her masters a precondition of signing with Geffen Records, citing Swift as a direct inspiration. And this is before they were fighting. So she said, Taylor, look what happened to Taylor Swift. I will not sign with you, because she had competing record labels.
Yeah.
I will not sign with you unless I own my masters. So she owns her masters. Zara Larsson from Sweden bought back her entire music catalog and set up her own record label. And Dua Lipa has also, in November 2023, acquired her publishing. And she also bought part of the management company she left in 2022. Dua Lipa, don't bring her into this. And it's crazy because this has happened many, many times before. And I wanted to run you through one that I thought you might find interesting. Did you know that Michael Jackson bought the Beatles catalog out from under them?
And how much was it purchased for?
So it's in the mid 80s, okay? $47.5 million in the mid 80s. Right? Taylor Swift's music publishing was sold for $300 million in 2019. That was the public number. In the 80s, it was roughly the same. Yeah, right?
I was going to say
and Michael Jackson, he bought like several artists in that thing, but part of it was McCartney and Lennon, who had originally owned their publishing, but it had been in a joint stock company. And in 1969, they'd been forced to sell it some sort of thing. And so Paul McCartney was going to buy these rights back because John Lennon had died 5 years beforehand. Michael was his friend. He didn't know Michael was bidding. I was going to
say, did he buy because of personal connection or just because of like music collecting?
No, because Michael lived an extravagant lifestyle, invest the money and make money off of that investment the rest of your life, right? And we know that. And so Michael, this is crazy. Michael and Paul were like buddies.
Yeah.
They had a couple of songs together, Girl Is Mine and Say, 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 which were pretty big songs in the 80s. And so Paul McCartney went toe to toe with Michael Jackson's people about buying these things. And he said, I can't, I'm paraphrasing here, but he's like, I can't imagine spending that amount of money for something I wrote down on a napkin. And that's what he did, right? Like he would go over to John's house. John was a little bit older in Liverpool, and they would write songs on John's front patio. And that's where some of the songwriting for the Beatles started. And he's like, I can't. Now, apparently he owns some or most of them. But isn't that nuts? Like even the Beatles got affected by this.
Listen, we're all hyper-capitalists.
Hyper-capitalist.
That's why I didn't actually know the story behind why he bought. I just knew that he had bought that.
Well, it was so he could fund like Neverland Ranch and stuff like that. Yeah. So isn't that crazy? Anyway, so Taylor Swift, either I think evil genius or force for good. It might be a little bit of both.
I hope nobody's that evil, and I don't think she is.
She's not evil. And let me just say one more thing.
Here we go.
Because that TikTok really pissed me off.
Good. I'm glad. All right.
The Taylor's versions were a blessing in disguise because she released the vault tracks, songs that she wrote during that time that she never made the album. So the fans got so many little hidden songs that are now like big songs, thanks to Scooter buying her masters. So
thanks.
All in all, it's a blessing in disguise. And the real diehard fans are happy to pay for her to buy back her masters.
All right. And at the end of the day, Taylor Swift has never left the front of our minds.
No, she never has.
And that's exactly what she wanted to do. And it's working.
Brilliant about it.
Fired up. Okay.
Now you had something you wanted to bring up, right?
I texted you about this last week and you had no idea what I was talking about.
Okay.
And I needed to know, do you know these Royal Kingdom ads? This Royal Kingdom game? I got to talk to you about this.
I've never heard of this.
It's getting on my last nerve. And okay, so it's all over my TikTok and there's these ads.
Okay.
And Royal Kingdom, I guess, is this app, this game that you can play. And they have every major celebrity I've ever heard of doing ads for them. And at first I thought, is this AI? And then I was like, no, they get sued for that if they were falsely using someone's face, right? Look at this. Can you see that?
Okay.
5-time Olympic gold medalist Amy Poehler. I've been asked to talk to you about the new puzzle game, Royal Kingdom. It is so much fun. It has absolutely no ads, which everyone can appreciate.
Like And then
Royal Kingdom.
Royal Kingdom. Look at
That's what I'm Googling.
Okay. Look at this.
Sorry, folks. Looks like the Wi-Fi is down.
Oh, great. What am I going to do for the next 5 hours?
Play the new puzzle game, Royal Kingdom. It's the perfect way to pass time on long flights.
They've got like, I can't give you the full list, but like they've got I think John Hamm's doing like every.
Jimmy Fallon.
Jimmy Fallon's do. I scroll right past him.
Royal Kingdom endorsements.
It is. So where is this? Because to have Lisa, have Amy Poehler, like that's crazy expensive.
So somebody on Reddit says, in the past few hours, I've seen on YouTube ads, Shakira, Jimmy Fallon, and Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart was doing one, too. I saw him, little guy.
Also got an update, LeBron James as well.
Okay, so that is, like LeBron's not just doing a ad for no reason. You haven't seen these, Adam? They're everywhere.
I have not seen it once.
And I looked it up and I was like, this just looks like a janky little game. Like, I'm sure it's fun, but they would have to have deep mafia pockets.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Is it a free-to-play game?
Yes.
Okay, so it's one of those where you download it, you can play for free, and then you get just far enough, and they're like, well, if you spend $5, you might get this.
Who's the secret? Where's the kingdom money coming from?
Here we go. So I've got a Deconstructor of Fun, which is a blog.
Adam Wilde will always find the business side of things. I knew I could count on you.
LeBron James, Kevin Hart, Jimmy Fallon, Shakira, Amy Poehler, Sofia Vergara, Courtney Cox, Lisa Kudrow, Kaylee Cuoco, and Johnny Galecki. 10 A-listers, multiple ad creatives, NBA playoff ad placements, social media blitzes. If you live on Earth, you have seen it. And apparently I don't live on Earth. So
it is, because even just the usage on that, like to pay an influencer or an actor, the usage on that alone. Like,
yes. So I'm trying to figure out.
Like how much money would it cost you to get LeBron James in a
an absolute fortune.
Yes.
An absolute fortune.
Like even one of those A-listers, the company wouldn't have money to buy.
Yeah. It's interesting. It doesn't
Adam, I need you to get me the trail, the paper trail here.
Here's what I found.
What is it?
Do you want to hear?
Yeah.
So it's a version of a different game called Royal Match. So
I remember that one.
It's part of the family,
but
the royal family. So then it says that it's a Turkish game developer, but it says the co-founder of Pixar and former president of Walt Disney Animation Studios became a part of Dream Games, who has all these royal games.
Is that John Lasseter or who? What's his name?
Edwin Catmull.
Oh, Ed Catmull. Okay, I've read about him.
So that's where the money's coming from.
Became a part of Dream Games in December 2023, working as a strategic advisor.
Whoa, interesting.
Like that.
So so here's the deal. There is so much money in free to play. There is so much money. Now, Istanbul and London says where this company's based out of. So I have no idea who's investing in it, but I'll give you an idea. So on the video game side of things, Fortnite's the biggest game in the world and has been for like 6 years. How is that possible? Fortnite is free to play. Fortnite is you download it and you play.
Yeah.
And you don't ever have to spend a cent. And before I had a kid, I played Fortnite.
Yeah.
And it was fun. I mean, it's a really fun
incredible,
game.
yeah.
You play with your whatever. And the thing is though, you can buy upgrades you can't buy like in-game upgrades, like you're not going to make yourself a better player, but you buy costumes and outfits and whatever else and to customize your character. And when you have that many people playing, there's a desire for you to stand out because everybody looks the same in their in-game character, right? So I remember playing and it was with like my adult friends.
Yeah.
And these kids were like chirping us because they're like, oh, you got the original skins. You didn't pay for it, blah, blah, blah. And there was like a social pressure. And I felt it of like, well, should I buy myself my own, like, because they have these crazy outfits and they've got Star Wars integrations and Marshmallow's done something on it. Like everybody, pop culture, Marvel has been a part of it. And so yeah, like there's this thing where you end up spending in game on something that just makes you look different. But when you scale that out worldwide, it's an absolute fortune. It's crazy money.
And I read this somewhere, but Fortnite was making so much money so quickly that like to upgrade, like their software developers and like their designers they were able to hire the best in the world for that game.
And they have actually sued Apple. Did you know that?
No.
They said the App Store is a monopoly because it's the only one allowed on the iPhone. You can't get other apps on the iPhone. You have to get it through the App Store. And the App Store charges like 30% or something like that of all the revenue you make through the app that you downloaded from the App Store. So they make money.
Adam always knows the inside track. Take me on a ride.
So Epic Games, which is different from this company, Epic Games spent something like tens of millions of dollars suing Apple, and they just recently won. And I think Apple's going to appeal. But essentially, they were basically suing for the ability to go, well, no, we're not just gonna hand this money over to Apple. This is ridiculous. We have to. So it's a crazy thing. Now I'm looking at Royal Kingdom, right? This is the one we're talking about.
Yeah.
Fully released November 21st, 2024. It had already surpassed $20 million in revenue since its soft launch in April 2023. So you think about it. Okay, so they soft launch it, and that means that they don't announce anything. They just put it on the App Store. So when they hard launched it and when these campaigns with Jimmy Fallon and Kevin Hart and all that stuff, once that started happening, and that started in the States and then now has gone to Canada, as a soft launch for this game, they'd already made enough money, the $20 million, to pay for the celebrities that they then hired to endorse.
But also, even if they could get a financial, like, even if they were like, okay, we're almost there to hire all these, if they can get the investors or whoever behind them, because these A-listers will have everybody talking, and it's working because I'm sitting.
Well, you're talking
to you about it. I am now like, how good could it be? And I want to download it. I'm influenced. So it would be like, if you could get the investors, it would be worth it to put the investment into getting all those A-listers.
Yes.
But they've already made enough money.
So so Royal Match was first made in Canada, available in Canada, Turkey, and the UK for a limited test in July 2020. During its test, it received 100 million downloads, 1 million downloads, 200,000 daily average players. So 20% of their average players were coming back every day. Royal Match, by the way, the game is you follow King Robert as he fixes his castle. It kind of is like Candy Crush or Bejeweled, like one of those.
I love Bejeweled.
You like Bejeweled? Well, this is the same thing.
I love Bejeweled.
In mid-2021, it reached the top 20 highest grossing mobile games in the US, UK, and Germany, over 6 million users.
Damn, okay.
And then August 2021, it had 16 million downloads. Most popular in the US at 28%. The UK and Germany at 7%. Despite its free-to-play approach, it gained $102 million in revenue from its first 6 months in operation. The U.S. accounted for $67 million of that.
Listen, this is what's happening.
That's how they're paying
for it. While Grand Theft Auto is taking 20 years to come out, like Royal Kingdom is just killing it with all the.
What's great about it is you don't have to have Wi-Fi. You don't have to spend any money. And it's like a puzzle game. So it's something that you can play on the subway, you can play it on the bus, you can play it on an airplane, and it's just a very easy, mindless sort of like easier than Tetris sort of thing.
Am I going to enter the kingdom on my flight?
I think you might.
I think I'm going to. I
mean, this seems like a game for you.
I think on my flight tonight, I'm going to enter the kingdom.
You're going to help King Robert?
I mean, King Bobby, I'm coming for you.
Yeah.
There you go. King Bobby, let me help you out. Yeah, I've been influenced. At first, I thought it was the AI, and then I was like, they couldn't do that. That would be illegal, right?
They can't. That is 100%
Oh my God.
illegal.
Okay, Amy Poehler. She's on board. I'm on board.
You like it?
I guess.
I think that's cool. Yeah. And you know what's insane is like, they told us in school, they're like, guys, pay attention to computers.
Yeah, I know.
Like if you're gonna do something, go make some money, go do something in computers. And I was like, who needs that shit? I don't need to learn to code. Some guy at some point in the last 20 years was like, you know what? I had this idea for a game. And you think about where Angry Birds came from. There was the game called Flappy Bird. Do you remember Flappy Bird? It was
I remember that bird, but I never played.
Yeah, the guy
too pushy.
That was too pushy. One guy created that in like his bedroom, and then got so depressed by the game's success, I think because it was so overwhelming, that he literally was like, I'm shutting it down, and Flappy Bird no longer exists. He shut it down. He just
Flappy Bird's dead?
Flappy Bird is dead. And I love Flappy Bird. It was fun. And then remember the guy that created Minecraft?
No.
So the guy that created Minecraft, the game, actually ended up selling it for several $1 billion. And the first thing he bought, or one of the first things he bought after he sold it, was a house that Jay-Z and Beyonce desperately wanted. It was like $100 million. And he beat them out for it, which is nuts.
And then became incredibly depressed and lived in his castle. That's what I imagine. That's what I imagine things happen.
Yes, he did. Because here was the thing. He sold Minecraft because he was a game developer. He didn't want to run the company. He didn't want to make business decisions.
He just wanted to, yeah.
Yeah. So then he sells the company, but then now he doesn't get to do either. So he kind of got a little depressed by that. And I think he's struggled a little bit.
What happens when you get everything that you've ever wanted?
Well, I don't think that was what he wanted. I think he wanted to design video games. That was his purpose.
No, but I mean, like when you get like the money and the thing. Yeah.
Again, though, like not everybody wants that kind of money.
No.
Not everybody's like excited about that amount of money. I could manage that. I can handle that. I can have a good time.
I heard you can be rich and depressed.
Yes, you can.
I've heard that.
How crazy is that though, right?
Wild. Yeah. Just depressed with more money.
Now,
oh my God.
The last thing I want to ask you is I've just sent you another TikTok. And this one I thought was hilarious because there's two reactions to what I'm about to show you. This is a first date situation. And this is a woman who is really excited about this guy. And there's one particular reason. And there are two very visceral reactions to why she's excited. Number one, oh my God, that's so sweet. And number two, oh my God, we've set the bar so low. This is sort of embarrassing. I want to get your take on it. Have a listen.
Hey guys, it's 11:30 p.m. I just got home from my date. I just had to share this because this is adorable. One of my Hinge prompts was like the one that says the way to win me over is, and then my answer was bring me a Diet Coke because I'm a basic bitch. So I show up and he's like, hey, by the way, I got you something. I'm like, oh, what? Ah! Listen, I am easy. Okay, nope, I'm not easy. That came out wrong. I just mean I'm easy to please.
Flat.
Okay. I should use a different word. I'm just a simple creature. A 35 pack of Diet Coke, the thoughtfulness behind that, the forethought for him to be like, oh, I remember she mentioned this, and then like freaking do something about it. It's really good. It's really good.
Okay, so again, the two reactions that people are giving us, and I saw yours and I love this. The two reactions people are giving us are that's so cute and adorable and you got to go on the next date. And number two is we've set our bar so low.
I was just about to say like that. That's a tale as old as time in lesbian land. Like,
what do you mean?
Well, it's like, hey, oh my God, he read my Hinge prompt and then did the thing in my Hinge prompt. That's not that crazy. I think it's really sweet. But
you loved it. You squealed.
I think it's really, really sweet. But then I realized, because she was like, so like, can you imagine like how thoughtful that was? And I was like, I mean, I don't like you put it in your Hinge prompt.
You
just picked up on a cue. No, it's very, very, very sweet. I'm kind of in the middle.
No, you can't be in the middle.
Okay, I'm not in the middle.
I don't believe that you're in the middle at all. I think you're second guessing your first reaction.
If somebody,
and I think it's because you're being cynical.
No, I'm not. Adam,
don't you think?
I'm not.
Steph?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because she reacted really well to this, and now she's overthinking, going, "Well, but he." No, I'm saying it would have been better if he did nothing.
I'm saying it's so sweet, but then maybe it was towards the end when her reaction was so excited that I realized that this isn't a common thing, and maybe that made me sad.
Maybe you can just be excited.
I could. Maybe she could just be excited. I'm a complex woman, okay? But if somebody came to me because I have Mayo in all my bios, I don't use dating apps, but like I like on everything, I'm a Mayo woman. And if somebody came to me with teeny tiny little bottles of Mayo, we'd be talking. Yeah.
Yeah. Hellman's makes your clothes fall off. That sort of thing.
Hellman's slippery. Yeah. No, not like that. Like just like this clothes slip off. Sorry. God. Okay. Yeah, I think I would be impressed. Okay.
Yeah. Because so this is what's interesting. I think what it is, if he got her a big bouquet of flowers, you go, oh, okay. But he got her Diet Coke, and people like, you can pick that up at anything, and
a big flat of it. So like, it's not like he was just like, oh, hey,
here's
you know
a 2
what?
liter jug.
Okay, I'm back, because he committed to the bed and walked into wherever they were.
It funny.
And with 35 cans.
35 Diet Cokes.
Okay, I'm back.
I didn't know they sold 35 packs.
Babe, go to a Fresh Cow.
Oh, yeah.
My God.
So, because the reason I ask this is that I think some people reacted that way because it's Diet Coke. And it's like, well, that's such a mundane product that like there, and flowers, by the way, Diet Coke's going to last you a lot longer than flowers will.
Yeah.
And you think about the other things people bring to a first date, which is literally nothing. Like I have to guarantee, I will tell you this. I've never brought a single present to a first date. Never once. Never once did I do that because I always felt like it was too much. And unless you can, like,
Yeah.
because it's like hello, princess, like, you know, like that sort of, Ooh, princess, you know, like, you know what I mean? If you're one of those guys that shows up with a fedora, nice to meet you.
Yeah, you look like you either are going to ruin my life or you want me to ruin yours.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, and so I always felt like, like, that's too much. I'm trying too hard. But when you overcommit, it becomes funny and charming again.
Because, and I think we've debated this in the past, but where the line of creepy is around flowers on a first date. Because I think in theory, it would be really nice. Like if a girl showed up with a flower for me, just one flower, maybe not a whole bouquet. No, I'd love flowers. If somebody showed up for flowers, but I feel like I wouldn't do it because I would think that that's too much.
Yes, but you would melt, I think, if somebody did that for you.
I love romance. And like I've been in partnerships where they don't buy me flowers. And I've even said, like, please, I just love flowers. I know I don't look it, but I'm very soft. Please buy me flowers. And now I'm like, yeah, I'd like flowers. I just want to say that. Yeah.
So, okay. And you drink Diet Coke.
If a woman showed up with
a flat of Diet Coke,
with a flower and a Diet Coke, like
that's what I'm saying.
Marriage round 2. Let's go.
Right.
Yeah. Let's go.
So this is the thing. Like I'm like, damn, that would be great. So the reason I wanted to ask this, and this is what I want to ask, you know, if you're listening to, I want to see this in the comments. What's your thing that if somebody, like on a first date, it's like an instant second date. They show up with this. It's an instant second date. It's probably something that would have been on your Hinge profile or your Bumble profile, whatever you have. But if, you know, if they show up with this thing, it's like, oh man, that's super thoughtful.
If they show up with
that's
this thing,
unexpected.
or if they do this thing, like
show up or do.
Oh, ooh.
Because like for me, just give me an idea.
Give me an example.
So my wife looked at me this weekend, and thank God she's a nerd too. But she looked at me and she's like, you know what we need to do tonight? I said, what? Because we were both exhausted. And she's like, we need to hang out. We need to have a delicious dinner. And she loves to cook.
Yeah, she's so
and
good.
She's like, and then we're going to watch Star Wars. And I was like, I married the right person.
Yeah, you did.
So if she had said that to me on like the first or second date, you know, like, do you want to watch a little like Mandalorian or something like that, or Andor or whatever, I'd have been like, I'm yours and I'm yours forever. So like that kind of stuff.
Oh my God. Okay. Love Natalie.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is it like a 5-panel hat? Is it?
No.
For anybody that doesn't know what a 5-panel hat is,
They're
it's
out
the
of
hat where you're
style,
like,
Adam.
that person's gay.
Adam, they're out of style, and I have many.
They're out of style now.
They're out of
You
style
don't get
now.
to flip up the brim anymore?
Adam, like, get on the lesbian trend.
I know. I feel very out of touch.
Is kind of like you are the closest to a lesbian I've met. That's not a lesbian, but you should know your people. Like,
I should know my people.
I think
should.
This isn't really a thing. Like if somebody was so silly and they're like, if the night turned into an adventure, I don't know. Is that just really vague?
Okay. You started feeling guilty about your answer and cut yourself off before the answer fully came out. So the rest of it, you're like, anyway, this is stupid. I don't want to talk about it. No, you got to tell us, like, what is it? What kind of adventure? What are you talking about? So if somebody comes to you and goes, tonight's going to be an adventure. What are you talking? What do you mean? You have to explain what this feels like in your mind. Because this is very obviously something that's.
I like spontaneity. I like
spontaneity.
I'm, at the age where cool going out for a drink, but also I like going out for dinner. I want to talk to the person that I'm on a date with.
Yep.
I want to actually, and my God, turn down the speakers in restaurants.
I know, it's crazy.
Oh my, and it's not because.
We're getting old, man.
No, it's not because of that. It's not because I'm kind of hard of hearing, especially my right ear. But it's because it's too freaking loud. But like turn down the music. Start with dinner, and then if the night turned into adventure, I don't know, go somewhere I've never been, like dancing maybe. Can I say something if I had unlimited money?
Sure.
Go fly somewhere for the night.
Oh God.
Can I say that?
For a first date? Yeah, I think
it's a first date too.
Yeah, like what are we talking about here?
Know.
Of course.
I've been watching too many rom-coms. I don't know, Adam. Rein me back in.
Fly me somewhere. Oh, okay. Jax, who are you dating?
I'm not dating anyone.
By the way, who says no to that? Who's like, oh yeah, fly me somewhere on the first date? No, I don't think so. Are you kidding?
I don't know.
That's surprising that you don't know that. Like, what if they were like, "Hey, man, I got you something for The Sims, like which is a video game."
I don't play The Sims anymore.
Or I got you the box set of DVDs of Girls.
if somebody showed up, if somebody showed up with me on a date and they had a miniature something, I would be like,
a miniature what?
Anything. Like, I went on a date one time and there was a tiny little Tabasco sauce, and then the person I was on a date with ended up taking it and then gave it to me after, and I still have it downstairs. It's tiny. And I don't know. I love little things. And I feel like I talk about that enough in my day to day, maybe not enough, but if somebody gave me like a mini something.
Okay. These are the little things.
You're telling me to speak my truth and then you're judging me.
No, I like your truth.
Okay.
I like that answer. I think that's a good one. You like miniature little things. I
love teeny tiny things or things that have faces that shouldn't. I love
like
that.
the moon.
Yeah.
Right?
The moon emoji.
You love the moon emoji.
I'm switching to the sun these days. Anyway.
Oh, are you? Okay. Now, Lydia had a question for us. Yeah, usually we call this segment the interview, but I actually think Lydia's got a good suggestion. Here
Lydia,
for
what's up?
She said, hey guys, I'm a listener of your show. I love it. You're both great. Thank you, Lydia. I wanted to send a suggestion for the name, the interview. What about I Am Dying to Know?
Ooh.
And I thought, you know what? That's so much better than the interview.
I'm sorry. Are you finally
I will switch off the interview and switch it on to Adam and Wild and Jax. I am dying to know.
Dying to know. Dying to know.
You like that?
I love it.
I am dying to know. Because look, I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna apply it to all of our questions that we have coming up here.
Okay, Lydia.
So from Robert, I am dying to know, what is Jax doing for Pride?
Being alive and
Being
visible.
alive?
Yeah. No, I am.
It's a lot. Okay. Can I just say, I'm going to step on your answer here.
No, and
it's a lot being gay at Pride when you have a little bit of a platform. Like what I mean by that is like the company you work for is often going to ask you to do a million pieces of content and, right? Am I right?
No, you're completely right. And you've seen it firsthand. Usually I would, not so much in the past couple of years, but I would dread June because I would be so tired, and it would be tired in like a beautiful way because you get to celebrate, Pride started as Riot. Pride is about resistance. Pride is about many, many, many other things beyond partying. And you get to, do some education around that and some sharing of that. But it's also, as a queer person, especially when you're working for an organization or company, you have to spread that word because you're the representative. You're the representative. And while you are authoritative on that voice, it also shouldn't go on queer people's shoulders. So companies, if you have queer and trans folk, maybe give them some extra time off and not make them work more. If that's fair to say.
Because that's what it becomes. It just becomes like a make-work project.
I think there's a lot of really good intention in that, being like,
of course,
you are the right.
Because we want to
exactly.
Ask.
And
I ask you shit all the time.
Yeah, and you do. And that is one beautiful thing that I love about you is that you do ask me, but you're so wrapped in trepidation around it because you're like, I'm so sorry for asking this. No, ask. Because it's also, while it's not my job to educate, I also want folks to not be scared to ask me questions. Right. So then allies sometimes need help, right?
Yes.
Now this answer got about so many other things, but this Pride, I'm going to be away for half the month, and then I'm doing some Pride work with some, I guess, Pride Month work with some amazing organizations that I can't announce yet, but I'll have some videos out soon.
I can't wait.
And then actual Pride weekend, I think I may be going away. Because this city is chaos on Pride weekend. It's also Canada Day weekend, I think.
Yeah.
The same one.
I've heard that from some people where it's like you want to do some of the stuff around Pride, but when you've done the parade many, many times, sometimes you need a bit of a breather from it.
Yeah.
Not that you would never go back, but that it's like, because it is a lot of fun.
It's so much fun. But
it's also a lot of energy expelled.
You're exhausted afterwards. It's a lot of fun. And also I'm seeing a bit of a shift because I'm sober. And Pride is different to me now. And Pride used to be there's a lot of cool sober spaces. I will give them shout outs to that they've made. But Pride looks different to me. And a lot of the queer community is unfortunately, and I think sometimes intentionally, really immersed in substances, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's how we get together a lot. But it's hard to see that much alcohol, and I'm fine around
I can imagine it is
that much, and that's so tied into celebration.
I think it's
I could
interesting.
do a whole nother podcast.
Yeah,
on this.
you could.
Yeah.
It's interesting to hear your answer on that, because the thing about being sober and going to any party like Christmas or someone's birthday or someone's wedding is what's the instant everybody's reaching for a drink first thing to get loosey goosey. And you're saying, well, I can't do that.
Yeah.
And so, what kind of other things can I do? And I think that's interesting.
I can just, sometimes I get so crazy on Diet Cokes though, because I've been, I can't drink alcohol, but I can drink Diet Coke, but sometimes I drink too many.
For people asking, we will be bringing Left on Red back.
Yes,
don't you worry.
we will.
It's coming back. It's
We've been
coming back.
wanting to say, but we got some hot odds coming for you.
What this is great. This is another one from I'm Dying to Know.
Love the new segment.
Ligzagenus, I think that's how you pronounce it, says, what's the first song you downloaded illegally? And I'm going to add a caveat onto that.
Ooh.
How long did it take? Because I remember it took me a long time to get the song I wanted.
I don't remember.
You don't remember? Do you remember what the service was? Were you a original Napster?
It was Napster, but it was very quickly LimeWire.
Yeah, I was LimeWire and Kazaa.
Kazaa?
Yeah, do you remember Kazaa?
Yeah, I remember Kazaa.
Yeah.
Whoa. You know, like when you have,
did I hit you with something there?
Yeah, you know when you have like your brain's like, I just glitched. Kazaa.
Yeah.
Kazaa. Oh, Kazaa.
I remember having, so I was obsessed with like rock at a young age, like older rock. So for me, it's sort of a lame answer. I bring them up every show, but it's not a lame answer. It's the best answer ever. It was Running with the Devil from Van Halen. That was the first song. And it took me, because we had the slowest internet known to man. Whatever internet speeds were at the time, on that package, my parents had the slowest one. So it took over 24 hours to download Running with the Devil and a couple other songs as well. But it was the first song I downloaded, and it was like 26, 27 hours. And I remember playing it and going, oh my God, I can't believe I got this and I had it on CD. Like I could have walked down the hall, put it in I had a CD player. I could have put it in that, but it was like, oh my God, I got this from the internet. And we didn't know that it was bad for artists. Maybe we did, but I was like 12. I don't know.
And do you remember the little player that would come up, the window MP3?
With the weird, like trippy,
and you
whatever.
could put your own skin on it or whatever. Oh my God. But the thing was, I remember I had the music, but I didn't have a CD burner yet. So it was trapped in the computer. So then I had to go to Nikki Chisholm's house, and then she would burn. I had
the same thing. I didn't have a burner. So my buddy Derek used to burn. I used to send him a playlist.
Yes.
And it'd be like, here's what I want. And it would only be like, you could fit 17 or 18 songs depending upon how much space the song. So if you had Stairway to Heaven, which is like a 7-minute song, that's going to take up 2 track spots. So now you're down to 17 songs.
That's right. And it would like say how much.
Yes. So I would have to go and buy the CDs, and the CDs were crazy expensive. Do you remember? There were CDRs and CDRWs.
You get like a 4-pack and it was like $37.
Yeah. The CDRWs were crazy because you could reburn them. Yeah. The rewritables.
Yes, yeah.
But the CDRs were cheaper. But even then, you were still buying a stack of them because you need like 30. And then you know what I used to carry around? I had that, those 5-star binders. I had a CD jacket.
Do you still have it? Does your mom have it?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know where that would have gone.
Let's
I had 2
ask
of them.
her. Oh my God, we should ask her.
Monsters. They were huge. And
we should ask her.
Maybe I do. I don't know.
She doesn't.
I throw a lot of stuff out.
Yeah, I know you do, but your mom does she?
She's still got a bunch of CDs.
I'm gonna go into her basement.
I remember she had a back then, like this is kind of cool. We don't get to do this anymore. You could get records, tapes, CD player or CDs that were international, and you couldn't get them in North America. And so my mom had Led Zeppelin's Greatest Hits, but it was a Japanese version. And it was before Led Zeppelin had released a Greatest Hits in North America. And so like I thought I was the cat's ass with this CD. And it didn't even say Led Zeppelin on it. It just had a bunch of Japanese words. And I just knew that was my Led Zeppelin
rare,
CD.
Cool.
It was rare. It was like a rare CD. I was like, cool. I thought I was so cool with my, you think you're a Led Zeppelin fan? Well, I've got their greatest hits from Japan, blah, blah, blah. Like,
you're not a Zeppy. Yeah,
100%.
Is that what the fandom's called? Zeppies?
No, they don't have a fandom, and they don't have a name for the fandom.
If Led Zeppelin fans are called Zeppies.
They're not called
hey, fellow Zeppy. Oh my God.
Okay, Gecko says, I'm dying to hear Adam guessing queer or lesbian terms for Pride Month. So are there any queer or lesbian terms you can give me that I have to try to define?
Oh my God, hang on.
Straight man tries to define queer words. And I'll see how right I am. I think this is a fun game, by the way. Anytime you have a game suggestion for us, feel free to just drop it in because I love a game. And I'm not great at coming up with them. Okay. Are you ready?
I'm so ready. It's funny because I actually I was shooting a campaign with Steph last week, and I had to teach her a term that I thought everybody knew.
What was it?
Adam, what is a bear?
Oh, that's from what I understand, is a gay man who, like me, is a little hairy and oftentimes dressed up like my favorite band, Judas Priest, which they actually got a bunch of inspiration from the gay community. Judas Priest, lead singer's gay. And they're usually dressed up in like leather and like a policeman's cap or whatever. And they're just they're the big masculine men who like, you know? I think.
No, you're absolutely correct. I was going to say that you would be more like a cub.
I'd be a cub because I'm not like a bear. I'm not built like a bear.
I think that there's, because I just saw on here that cub can't, you shouldn't confuse cub with otter as well, because
what's an otter?
Well, I was going to say, but I also don't want to get it wrong because, let me see here.
This is great. I love
otters
this.
like
little education.
Oh yeah, no.
So there's a bear, there's a cub, and there's an otter.
Yeah. So cub is like, like a smaller, younger version of a bear. And then otter is an athletic man with a good amount of fur to his name. So would you be more of a cub or an otter?
Well, I probably used to be an otter. I'm more of a cub now. I used to have an athletic frame.
You're oh my God, there's so many. A meerkat? Love this.
What is a meerkat?
Oh, I love this. Okay, a meerkat is an anxious, sassy gay.
Whoa.
I didn't know. Oh, this is Grindr.com. I guess we're getting there.
All right, what else we got? What else we got on Grindr?
Okay, what's a unicorn?
A colorful, vibrant dresser. Like somebody who dresses in like Joseph in the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat.
It's a bisexual person, primarily a woman who is happy to sleep with heterosexual couples.
Oh.
Like looking for someone, like we're looking for our unicorn.
Yeah. Okay, all right.
Okay, let me find some more slang. Hang on.
I learned another word last week, actually.
What?
Sapphic.
Yeah, sapphic.
What's sapphic?
I had never heard that before.
Explain sapphic. Happy Pride. You know what? I'm not doing the work. Explain. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gay. I'm tired.
Let the straights do it.
You know what? You guys tell me.
This is our month.
Yeah,
we got it.
yeah.
We'll take it from here.
All right. WLW, sapphic. What is it?
This is what ChatGPT says sapphic is. A poetic term referring to women who love women from Sappho, the ancient Greek poet.
Yeah, like there's like sapphic.
So instead of a lesbian, you're sapphic?
I guess so, yeah. Like you see a lot of like sapphic wine nights or like sapphic parties.
Yeah, like my friend went to a sapphic party. That's how she was telling me. And I'm like, what is that?
Okay, so that's just a very poetic Latin way of saying.
It's like a hot way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a hot way.
I like that.
Yeah,
You want to have it elevated.
Okay, and finally, what's butch? Tell me about butch, Adam.
Is butch not the female version of, because it's always used in the term like a masculine presenting.
If somebody
lesbian
identifies as butch, if they're like, I'm a butch, what are they saying?
First off, I usually assume that I associate that with lesbians most of the time, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And my assumption is always that it's like the lesbian version of a bear. So sort of bigger and
less hair, maybe.
Perhaps less hair.
Perhaps less hair.
Again, if you want to be cradled and taken care of in a big butch hug, it's like, there you go. Like, it's sort of like, that's, some people really like that when somebody's bigger than them. And it's like, you can cuddle me and protect me and, that sort of thing. Am I right? Am I wrong on that?
No, you're Adam, like, I will say, you're a great ally. You always have been. You always have been. I will say that because of also like your mom was surrounded by a lot of like, gay men work. Yeah. But you are ahead of most straight cis men. And I love you for it.
I appreciate that.
But yeah, you got this one right. A person who identifies themselves as masculine, whether it be physically, mentally, or emotionally. Butch is sometimes used as a derogatory term for lesbians, but it can be claimed as an affirmative identity label.
Because that's always how I assumed that it was. Like growing up, obviously you hear, oh, it's a butch, lesbian, whatever, and it's said in a derogatory way. And then now, as an adult, all I've heard is that they've taken it back.
It's like the word dyke, like take it back. That. Take it back.
And by the way, for the people that don't know, and one of our most famous bits ever was this, the Hey Mamas. Tell people again what a Hey Mama is, because it is one of my favorite things.
Adam loves Hey Mamas.
I love Hey Mamas
He
now.
loves Hey Mamas.
And I didn't know what it was.
Hey Mamas are like the TikTokers who are like, hey, they do a lot of this. And it's pretty cringe. And most
there's
of the
a lot
time
of mouth thing to that.
Like, yeah, Adam can do it. Adam can do it better than me.
And there's usually like the Kylie Minogue's playing in the background, something like that.
Don't. It's not. Don't bring Kylie into this.
Okay, well, who is it then?
I don't know. It's like some like country song.
Yeah.
It's like it's some country
funny.
song. I think that a Hey Mama would take good care of you.
I think I'd be. You know what? They always are dressed perfect. Like they're crazy how good they dress. Now, Couple more comments. Yes. What do you have?
I just was thinking about you being held by a hey mama.
No. Oh, I would love to be
like
held.
a baby.
I would
Okay.
love to be held.
Okay.
All right. Sarah says this. Adam and Jax, you always fill my cup. I
Thank
laugh
you.
like an idiot on my walk
Thank
to
you.
work listening to you. I am in Ontario, a transplant, moved to Nova Scotia. Sorry.
Hi.
I am, sorry, an Ontarian transplant
Uh-oh.
who moved to Nova Scotia. Hey, man.
I'm just kidding. We love
I am
you.
so jealous. And I'm curious about your thoughts of Sullivan's Crossing. It's a Hallmark series, meets Virgin River-esque. Scenery of Nova Scotia is stunning. Chad Michael Murray, aka Lucas Scott, is a thirst trap in it. Love you both. And what I love about this is we have a direct Chad Michael Murray story because of that show.
We do have a Chad Michael Murray story. He came, we were just almost finished up, I think, right?
At Virgin Radio. Yeah.
Sullivan's Crossing was in season 1.
Mhm.
And Chad Michael Murray, who I
You
loved,
loved.
still, came in. We did press with him. And because they film it, like he loves Nova Scotia. I think his kid plays hockey when he's shooting there. He's always around Nova Scotia. We had him in. And he's so chill. Like, how would you describe
Very
him?
fun,
He's so
chill guy. I mean, it was early in the morning too, but yeah, he was chill. But you did a video with him afterwards.
I did, yeah.
And all you asked him to do, we'll feature it in this because it's hilarious.
He was so nice.
All you asked him to do was hold you.
Yep.
And he said yes.
I said, listen, I've got kind of, scraps of an idea here.
This is crazy.
And I was just thinking that you could just kind of hold me like we're at prom. And he said, absolutely. And I don't know if it was the fact that it was in the morning or that I was Nova Scotian.
Yeah.
That got him to do it. But he didn't just hold me. We were together.
You were together.
Yeah.
It was intimate.
It was
very sweet.
He's so nice. He is one of the nicest people, that works in the industry that I've probably ever met. And if I see him again, I actually want to get him to do a cooking show with me.
That's a great idea.
Like an East Coast cooking segment.
I think he's embarrassed by it, but he is really, truly that handsome too. He's a good looking boy.
He's so hot.
Like, you're like, wow, okay.
happy Pride, I don't know.
There's people that were like 10 out of 10 in high school, and then there's people that are 10 out of 10 in life. And I think he won the life lottery on that one.
When you see them in real life, you're like, how?
Wow.
Yeah.
Anyway. Okay, well, that's great.
Wait, I have to give you one more quick update before we let go.
Okay.
Before we let go.
We're not letting go.
Before we end things, because speaking of Nova Scotia, we got an update from the soccer team.
Woo! Now, if you don't know this, Jax got an email asking for a soccer team sponsorship in Dartmouth.
Yeah.
And so she sent them $300.
No, I didn't. It wasn't that much money, but no,
Okay.
they asked if we wanted to be part of an auction and send them a video. And then I said, can we give you money. They need money, okay? Videos don't put jerseys on people's backs. Anyways, John, Captain John, that's what I'll call him. We've been talking lots, and his son plays on the team, the really good team. He sent me an email saying that they're doing very good. He said, big game coming up this Saturday with the return of Onyx, his son, who received a red card. I don't know what that means, but he was
means you're
suspended
booted from the next game
for 2 games.
Yep.
He said, we are still sitting in first place, working hard and killing it on the pitch. Go team. Keep your fingers, toes, and whatever crossed for them. We've played 6 games. I think this was from last week. So hopefully they won on Saturday.
They're undefeated.
Let's
go. You supported a winner.
Let's go.
We only get behind winners.
We supported a winner, and I heard that they're the best team in the nation.
That's what I hear too.
That's what I heard.
Wow.
And they said, I've been asked a few times from the team and the parents if you'll be attending a game this summer. I will be attending.
Are you going to go?
I
can't
yeah.
wait. I can't wait. You're going out there.
I'm going to go to a game. I don't know when, but when I'm home this summer, I'm going to go see the soccer action on the
It's
pitch.
in Dartmouth, right?
Yeah.
Love it.
I gotta I can't go.
We gotta
alone.
make these
I'm gonna
guys
look
famous.
weird.
This is awesome.
No, they're gonna make us famous because they're so good. We're riding on their coattails.
So we will see you next week. And by the way, Jax will be from London,
live from Hackney.
I can't wait. It's gonna be great.
We have one more thing.
Oh.
What do you guys recommend?
Oh, the recommendations.
Amy Poehler podcast.
You love it.
Good hang. My God, it's so good. I love her. Yeah, it's incredible.
This week, what am I gonna recommend? I am currently, I'll just tell you what I'm currently reading, which is the nerdiest thing in the world. I'm reading a Star Wars book, literally reading a Star Wars book. And it is, I don't know how I ever reproduce. It's called Catalyst. And it is about Orson Krennic and the creation of the Death Star for anybody who cares. And Galen Erso too. Rogue One. You guys know.
Rogue
That's
5.
my recommendation.
Rogue 5.
Okay, we'll see you next week.
Love you.